Banner, physician, scientist, searching for a way to tap into the hidden strengths that all humans have. Then an accidental overdose of gamma radiation alters his body chemistry.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Follow me on social media if you would like. I'm on Instagram, X, and I even have a Pinterest. I just post my drawings. No hot takes, no nothing, no opinions, just drawings. I'm even putting up a comic book in there. I've also linked, and this is really important, I've also linked the Marvel database / fan site to these issues that I'm covering. Gives you probably more detailed plot than what I'm going to go through. We're going to be looking at a couple of issues here of Incredible Hulk, starting with 324 from 1986. Now, what this is the Hulk goes gray. So, real quick, homage cover to the original Hulk. This is drawn by Al Milgrom, and this is where the Hulk for the first time goes back to gray, which is going to kickstart soon, not yet, the Peter David run in Incredible Hulk. So, I had covered, and you can look on the playlist, the Hulk 314 to 319 and Marvel Fanfare 29 run that John Byrne did. Okay, so we are picking up after. So a few issues after. So what basically happened, and you can feel free to check out the Marvel database if you want more, is the Avengers are all fighting the Hulk. The Hulk and Bruce Banner have been separated. This is Bruce Banner, who is going into a comatose state. They can't be separated, and the separation of the two of them are causing Banner basically to die. And so they're gonna put them back together here. So we've got Leonard Samson here, Betty, and then Betty is married to Bruce Banner. They got married in the last issue of John Byrne's Hulk, and then here's Rick Jones. So I'm not gonna be too detailed, kind of covering it up, but they're trying to get these. They're trying to do what they can here. So they got them together, and now there's all sorts of stuff going on. And I am just showing you this. So he looks a little bit because he ended up having to fight the Hulk. So you think they would have given him clothes that would have managed to, because they knew he was gonna turn into the Hulk. So anyway, So Betty basically saying, "Hey, I thought that when he was merged, that the Hulk, that he was cured," and Samson tells her, that he thought so, but unfortunately, as separate entities, they lacked the stability and begun to lose density and drift apart. So basically, this is giving people a recap, and essentially some of the stuff that we missed here, the timely intervention of the Vision. And of course, they have to add the artificial being who can control his own density, enable Bruce and the Hulk to mesh again. He saved both their lives. But there was a problem, because there's always a problem. After the Vision essentially merged them and he left, it caused another instability. Essentially, the Vision was the glue that was holding the bricks, in this case, the molecular bricks. And now, once again, they're starting to go unstable here. So Betty, of course, asks, is there anything that they can do? So they're going to reverse the process that separated them in the first place. So, and that's essentially what we're going to try here. So I'm just kind of going to go through feel free. We're gonna have a recap of how he became the Hulk and how Rick Jones blames himself because Bruce Banner got hit with the gamma bomb because Rick Jones was in there. So again, we're having a recap of some of the stuff that has happened. Um, I've only covered the John Byrne stuff, so I skipped the other issues. And I was gonna actually skip this one. I had actually started recording the McFarlane issue only. So here you can see Betty's the one that ended up saving the Hulk from everybody. And I wasn't gonna do this, but I said to myself, this issue is kind of a big deal. This kicked off the Peter David run, which I've been covering. I started recording, but I haven't released yet. So you'll see this before you get to that. Here is Thunderbolt Ross, Betty's dad. He ends up becoming the Red Hulk in the future, but not at this time here. So he I don't know what they're doing with him. I haven't read this in forever, so you'll have to excuse me. Um so I haven't read these in forever. Really, I wasn't a too. So I have the original in tethered copies because when I bought these I was like 10. Who puts these comic books in long boxes? Who I read them and all that, but as other artists like here's the transformation. As other artists like Todd McFarlane and Jim Lee started making things, Al Milgrom just didn't move the needle for me. So I wasn't, this or not Al Milgrom. I'm sorry. Al Milgrom is the writer. Maybe he does do the penciling. Anyway, yeah, Al Milgrom wrote and drew this, but I think Dennis Jank was the one that inked this, if I remembered. But it just at that time I probably didn't appreciate this kind of like I do now. But it's a serviceable. But it just when you look at some of the other, even when you look at John Byrne's amazing. It just it's different. And so here's Bruce Banner kind of trying to, he's like, please kill me and all that kind of stuff. And so he's begging for death and just how so he's trying to kill himself here, but of course the Hulk is stopping him. Um so yeah. Hulk doesn't want to die and makes Banner go away. So Hulk's gonna get away. So but he can't. So here comes Shield, and they're all gonna shoot. This is actually not a bad panel here. I don't know if I would have, it's kind of very Kirby-esque in a way, but it does seem antiquated, especially when you look at it through modern comic books. But so they've got the Hulk here. This is Clay Quartermain. Here's Thunderbolt. So he's gonna try to end up killing the Hulk. So this guy here is supposed to be watching him, but so he sneaks out a secured facility. So, but Quartermain is the first part of Peter David's run. He's kind of a supporting character. So again, Bruce Banner still begging to be let or be killed, but Hulk's trying to get away, and so he feels tricked. This is actually where the I don't know, the separation thing is. So they're gonna do what they can here. Ross, of course, has plans to, and you can see him going up and going down there. He's gonna. So Rick Jones is gonna go after him because he saw him. So you can see here Rick Jones looking up and seeing him. So he's gonna go and try to stop him. This is gonna lead to the next story arc, which Peter David will finish, but he doesn't start, and you'll see it in a minute here. So. And he fights the future Red Hulk, Thunderbolt Ross. So he's saying he should have shot him again, which was during the wedding, which John Byrne had that short run, but ends up with the Hulk falling, which makes Thunderbolt unhappy because he was trying to kill him, and he throws Rick overboard. And he's thinking maybe if he smashes the controls that'll help. He's an elderly man, so I don't know how strong he is, but anyway. So Samson says something's wrong. This isn't the way that the chemicals should be reacting. Something has altered the balance. Of course, it's because of Rick. So the machine, you can see here, the glass is breaking. And everything gets out, and we have the Gray Hulk here, and we see, I believe this is Rick Jones here. So the Gray Hulk has been, of course, Leonard recognizes him. He's saying, he should be Banner or the Green Hulk, but now he's the smaller Gray Hulk. They're asking, what do we do? And of course, Ross is screaming to kill him. Betty doesn't like that, and he's like, I hate Banner. Banner's gone, and suddenly he goes back to Bruce Banner, and Rick Jones, who was in the solution, is wondering what happened, and all of a sudden the new Hulk. Well, what do you guys think happened? Of course. So we're gonna cover that in just a moment here. So now we're gonna cover number 325. I bought this when it first came out. I bought a bunch of these from the anniversary, Marvel's 25th anniversary. I love these covers. I just think they're so cool. So we get the story of the new Hulk. So, and we're just gonna do this one, and then we will actually pick up with the end of the story, as our next one, which is McFarlane's first issue, which I believe is could be Hulk 330. So here, Al Milgrom is writing it. Steve Geiger does the pencils, and Bob McLeod does the inks. So, and what we have here. So this is the I'm like, who died? And I forgot. So this is from John Byrne's run. So this is the funeral of Carolyn Parmentor. So like I said, these are some of the Hulkbusters. Feel free to check out the link below to the Marvel database. I'll have both issues synopsis. There is also an annual that preceded this, but I didn't cover the annual. But and you can see kind of why these two are at each other's throats. So, but I'm just kind of here to just kind of, so we can see, you can see here, Rick's not feeling well, of course. I'm just going to ruin it here, but he is the new Hulk, and you kind of all figured that out. He was the one that was inside the formula. And there's a lot of talking because there's a lot of explaining, because every comic book is somebody's first. So you gotta let them know what's going on, so that if this is the first issue of Hulk that they buy, they can sort of know what's going on here. So I'm really not explaining much, just showing you this. Like I said, feel free to click on the link for the Marvel database slash fan site slash wiki site. I don't know what to call it. So if you want like more explanation, you can even see what happened in that annual. The annual was so this is Rick Jones Hulk here. And the truck hits him, and this is actually a very good panel here, so that's actually pretty cool. So we do have another Hulk, but Bruce Banner is wearing tattered clothing, so we're thinking it's him. Now here's the thing: in the annual, he does turn into the Gray Hulk, so that ability is in there, but he's not the one that's been turning into the Hulk. So these comic books are very dense, and it would probably take me 20-30 minutes just to cover this, and that's not the intent of this. I'm just trying to cover these a little bit more quicker here. So you can see these two are sort of fighting. So and here's Rick Jones. So and Thunderbolt Ross is still around. So anywho, we're almost done here. I just kind of wanted to give you a little context because I was going to jump directly into the Todd McFarlane, Peter David Hulk and not cover these, but I figured, what the heck? So I wanted to at least give people an idea of it. Now, those videos were all recorded first, so I don't mention that I covered this. So I should create a Hulk playlist because I am going to cover quite a bit of the beginning of Peter David's run with Todd McFarlane and then sporadic few from there on. But it's just hard to do Hulk and not cover any Peter David. Peter David, especially during the 80s and 90s, are a huge part of the Hulk. So... and he has a GoFundMe. He's not doing very well health-wise, so feel free. So here's the Rick Jones Hulk. Of course, they don't know that at that time. So, and of course, the other Hulk. So, you know what? We're at 18 minutes. Let's do one more. All right. So, number 326. The Gray Hulk versus the Green Hulk. Man, these issues are pricey now, and I have them in just such terrible shape. So, all right. Same team as the last issue, Milgram Geiger, and then Rubenstein is the inker. So, again, this is the Rick Jones Hulk. And so he's now becoming Rick, which, of course, Bruce Banner can't believe it. And, of course, we get another recap of the origin and everything that's happened. Because, as I mentioned, it's everybody's first. Sort of how he became the Green Hulk was when Thunderbolt threw him in there. So... so again, feel free to check out that Marvel database if you want a little bit better plot. Again, my goal here was just to show. So Thunderbolt Ross, man, he's a mean cuss. Not a nice guy. So, of course, a little bit of his recap with his abusive dad. I have covered that issue. Feel free to check it out in the playlist. Just and here we have the Grey Hulk and the fighting, but I think it's in their because I'm not reading it at this moment and I haven't read them in a while. It's really hard for me to. I'm just trying to make some sense of it as I look at it because I haven't read these issues in forever. That's a problem with comic books sometimes. It's just they're so you buy them and enjoy them, but then sometimes you move on, and I do. It just as adults you get so busy. I miss when I was younger, particularly during this age. I could just sit and just read comic books all day. So here they and then all of a sudden the hands are, and all of a sudden the two Hulks now are here. And so neither one is cured from, and so the two Hulks are now fighting. So I do like the brush. You know, I should, but I do like the heavy brush. So it's a lot of dead air, and I do apologize. Again, I'm just letting people look through them. So this is Zax, I believe. And so here we go. So we will end it with this one. And then when we pick up, it'll be Todd McFarlane's first issue, kind of to wrap it all up. And then we have another issue, and then Peter David takes over with Todd McFarlane. So anyway, like and subscribe, and thanks for listening.